Stop scrolling. This is not a drill. SNAP benefits have officially been halted in multiple states, leaving seniors, disabled Americans, and low-income families completely blindsided. And the situation is far more serious than the headlines are telling you. If you rely on SNAP, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or any form of fixed income, what I'm about to explain could affect your grocery money, your monthly survival budget, and possibly even how soon your next benefit reloads. This is one of the most alarming updates I've had to bring to you. Not because the system has crashed completely, but because of how suddenly these disruptions are happening and how deeply they're impacting the people who can afford it the least. What's unfolding right now is not just a simple delay, not a minor processing issue, and not a one-time glitch. Across different states, people woke up to empty EBT balances, missing payments, delayed issuance windows, and unexplained administrative holds that the agencies themselves are struggling to explain clearly. Seniors who depend entirely on Social Security to get through the month are reporting that their food stamp benefits, already stretched thin by high grocery prices, have been completely frozen without warning. Disabled individuals on SSDI and SSI have been stuck for days trying to get through to customer service hotlines that are either overloaded or giving vague answers like system down, payment pending, and unresolved delay. Veterans using SNAP as supplemental support are facing the same uncertainty, and families with children who rely on food assistance to bridge the gap between paychecks are suddenly confronting the possibility of going a week or more without their expected benefit. The most shocking part is how inconsistent the explanation has been. Some states are blaming system maintenance. Others are pointing to federal funding timing. Some workers have quietly admitted there were database processing failures. And in a few regions, agencies simply said, "We're aware of a statewide issue," without clarifying how long it will last or how many people are affected. This lack of transparency has caused widespread panic, especially among seniors who live alone and disabled individuals who depend on SNAP as part of their monthly survival plan. When you're on a fixed income, you don't have the luxury of waiting days for a glitch to be resolved. You don't have the buffer to just buy groceries and wait. Every dollar matters, including the SNAP benefits that are supposed to show up like clockwork because your health, your meals, and your basic stability depend on them. People are reporting that their EBT cards show zero balance even though they were supposed to receive benefits. Others are saying the deposit date vanished from their online account. In some places, SNAP applications and recertifications that were already approved suddenly appear as pending review, which is triggering re-verification demands that should not be happening. For seniors who are not comfortable navigating online systems, and disabled individuals who rely on caseworkers or automated deposits, any unexpected change is extremely disruptive. And the timing couldn't be worse. Grocery prices remain historically high. Inflation is still squeezing every corner of the budget, and families are entering the holiday season, typically the most expensive time of the year, only to discover that the benefits they depend on have frozen in place. You need to understand this clearly. Even though SNAP is a federal program, states administer the payments. That means each state processes the deposits and loads the EBT cards. So when one part of the system breaks down, seniors and disabled recipients are hit immediately and directly. No warnings, no grace period. Just an empty card balance and a long customer service queue. And what's even more frustrating is that many of the people affected have done absolutely nothing wrong. Their income hasn't changed. Their eligibility hasn't changed. Their documents are up to date. Their recertification deadline hasn't expired. Yet their benefits have vanished temporarily because of system-wide failures they have no control over. But this is where it gets even more concerning. Multiple analysts are warning that these disruptions may not be random glitches. The timing lines up with federal budgeting debates and administrative backlogs that states have been struggling with for months. Many states have already reported staff shortages, outdated computer systems, and high volumes of new applications. When you combine all of that with rising demand due to inflation and shrinking federal flexibility, it creates the perfect storm for delays, suspensions, and halted payments. Seniors who rely on both Social Security and SNAP are among the most vulnerable because many of them do not have additional income sources. When their Social Security check is already stretched thin by rent, medication, utilities, and rising insurance costs, SNAP becomes the one lifeline ensuring they can put food on the table. Disabled Americans on SSDI and SSI are equally at risk. Their benefits already fall below the federal poverty line, meaning SNAP is often the only reliable support they have to afford fresh food instead of skipping meals or relying on emergency food banks. When SNAP stops, the impact is immediate. People skip meals, ration medication, cut necessities, or fall deeper into financial hardship. I've received messages from viewers saying they had to cancel medical appointments to afford groceries after their SNAP didn't arrive. Others said they're down to a few canned goods because their benefit never loaded. And in the midst of all this, states continue releasing vague, generic responses like, "Please be patient." But patience doesn't fill a refrigerator. Patience doesn't feed a child. Patience doesn't help a senior living on a $1,100 Social Security check stretch that money over 30 days when just a week's worth of groceries can cost over $150 in some areas. And here's something people are not talking about enough: the psychological effect on seniors and disabled Americans. When you deal with financial insecurity every month, any unexpected disruption triggers real panic. Seniors who lived through previous government shutdowns and benefit delays are experiencing renewed fear. Disabled individuals who depend on consistency feel destabilized. Low-income families already pushed to the limit feel like the system is abandoning them. This emotional impact matters. It affects health, stress levels, and trust in the agencies responsible for distributing essential benefits. Now let's talk about what's actually happening behind the scenes. Several states are reporting technical issues related to automated payment systems, which means that even though benefits were scheduled, the system failed to release them. In some regions, there's evidence that federal to state transfers were delayed due to funding cycles. In others, case files were incorrectly flagged for review, causing benefits to be frozen until a human worker manually clears them. When you combine all of this with understaffing, outdated software, and rising caseloads, it creates a chain reaction where hundreds of thousands of people experience delays, even when the root cause is something as simple as a software code failure that no one noticed until deposit day. This is why some people in the same state receive benefits while others do not. It is inconsistent, unfair, and deeply harmful to seniors and disabled Americans who do not have the flexibility to wait out government errors. I want to be extremely clear. This situation is not the fault of recipients. If your SNAP benefits did not arrive, if your EBT card still shows zero balance, if your benefits are suddenly under review, this is not because you did something wrong. This is a system failure, and unfortunately, those failures always hit the most vulnerable first. High-income Americans never feel these disruptions because they don't rely on government assistance. But seniors living on fixed income and disabled Americans, depending on SSI or SSDI, feel every single ripple the system sends out. And with inflation still affecting grocery prices, the loss of even 1 month of SNAP benefits can create long-term financial strain that takes months to recover from. Now people are asking the most important question: how long will this last? When will my benefits load? The truth is, states are not giving clear timelines. Some are saying the issue will be resolved within 24 to 72 hours. Others are advising people to monitor their accounts daily, and a few are admitting they don't know when the fix will take effect. For seniors who don't use smartphones or online tracking systems, this makes everything more stressful. Many only know their benefits didn't load when they attempt to buy groceries, resulting in embarrassing, heartbreaking situations at the checkout line. No senior should have to experience that. No disabled person should have to stand in a store wondering why the card they rely on suddenly stopped working. What's worse is that this is happening during a time when food banks are already overwhelmed. Increased demand, high food prices, and supply chain pressures mean that even emergency support networks are stretched thin. So when SNAP fails, people have fewer backup options than before. Agencies are advising recipients to be patient, but patience is not a substitute for food. Seniors can't wait. Disabled Americans can't wait. Hungry families can't wait. SNAP is supposed to be dependable, predictable, and consistent, not a lottery system that may or may not drop on time depending on back-end issues. So here's what you need to do right now. First, check your EBT account regularly. Many states are issuing delayed updates throughout the day, meaning your benefit might load at a random time rather than the usual early morning schedule. If your balance is zero, check again in a few hours. Second, look out for messages on your state's SNAP portal. Some states are posting quiet updates on their websites rather than making public announcements. Third, if your case suddenly shows pending, review required, or re-verification needed, contact your local office as soon as possible. Do not wait weeks for them to send a letter. These delays can trigger unnecessary freezes. Fourth, be alert to scams. Whenever government benefits face disruption, scammers immediately step in pretending to fix your account, unlock your EBT, or restore your benefits. No one from the government will call or text you asking for banking information, PINs, or social security numbers. Any message demanding personal information is a scam. Seniors especially need to be cautious because scammers target older adults aggressively during benefit disruptions. If anyone contacts you claiming to be from the SNAP office, hang up and call your state's official number directly. Only trust information from your state's website, your official EBT portal, or the USDA Food and Nutrition Service. No private organization, no third party, and no random caller has the authority to restore your benefits. Now here's the big picture. This disruption may be temporary, but it reveals a deeper vulnerability in the system. SNAP is under heavier strain than ever before, and states are relying on outdated software built decades ago. With rising participation, inflation, staffing shortages, and federal funding bottlenecks, these breakdowns could become more common if system upgrades are not made soon. Seniors and disabled Americans should not be the ones paying the price for administrative failures. These are the groups that deserve the most protection, stability, and reliability. Yet they are the first to suffer when the system cracks. As we move forward, I will continue monitoring every update from every state, every official statement, every technical fix, and every verified workaround. If your benefits load, I'll tell you. If your state issues a correction, I'll update you. If federal agencies respond, I'll break it down. You will not be left in the dark. You deserve honesty, transparency, and real-time updates, not silence and confusion. And remember, you are not alone. Millions of people are being affected, and none of this is your fault. I'm here with you every step of the way, and the moment anything changes, whether it's deposits, fixes, emergency reloads, or new announcements, I will bring you the truth immediately.